guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a little bit different of a video. I figured let's mix it up and let's throw in a little story time kind of video. And this personally did happen to me, and I figured what better than sharing it with the internet and with the people I love, so and for everyone to see. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet, so let's get started. So basically, to preface this, I met a girl who I worked with here locally, and we had become pretty good friends, and we're still friends obviously till this day. And she's really nice and all that good stuff, but we were friends online as well, so like Facebook and social media and whatnot. And her boyfriend, who she's been with for like 4 going on 5 years, he has a good friend who is the guy I'm going to be referring to throughout this entire video. But he basically found me through her page and decided to add me, which is obviously not a big deal. I figured, hey, if they speak nice of him and they're friends with him, I trust their opinion of him, basically, I'll just accept. It's not a big deal. So I accepted the friend request, and it wasn't until like maybe a month later that he decided to message me on there, and we just kind of had like small talk, nothing major, and because we didn't know each other at all, just kind of knew, had heard of each other, I'm sure, through just mutual friends. So then we actually exchanged numbers, and that's kind of where it starts. So basically, we ended up texting each other for a little bit, and it was just kind of like getting to know each other kind of conversation. And then he ended up making it known that he wanted to meet me in person, which is fine. So my friend who I worked with decided to make a lunch date. So I went to lunch with this guy, her, and then her boyfriend, and he was really nice. I think like the time that this was happening, there was like stuff going on like at home, like personally and stuff, so I really wasn't in the mood to really go on a date or meet anybody or talk, really. So I wasn't very like super talkative that day. I don't remember being anyways. So yeah, we went to lunch and that was fine, and then we ended up going back to her boyfriend's house. And I'm sorry if you guys get kind of lost when I say her and his, and I obviously can't mention names, so just stay with me. I went back to her boyfriend's house and we chatted for a little bit, and like I said, I was pretty quiet, and I actually had to leave pretty soon because I was on a tight schedule that day, just because at the time I was sharing cars with my parents, which I'm actually not anymore. I have my own car. So anyways, I went home, and I think we had texted for maybe like a week or so throughout, I don't know, and this guy seriously texts so much. So you know how whenever, like, if you have an iPhone, or okay, if you have an iPhone and I have an iPhone, if we text each other and we go beyond 160 characters, it obviously is just grouped into like one long messages and break it up or anything. But if you have like a Samsung or something and I have the iPhone, if you send me a message beyond 160 characters, obviously, or more, it'll break it up into those like little paragraphs and whatnot. I would receive like 5 or 6 text messages from him at a time, like from the one little bubble that I would send him. So he was honestly just really overwhelming, like text wise. And he ended up, I think he asked me a couple times actually if he was talking too much, and I was honestly just trying to be polite. I was like, no, it's fine, whatever. But really it was just it was too much. So anyways, we were texting, and the conversation was just more like small talk, just stuff that was going on in our lives at the time. And he asked me out on a date, and I just don't recall really wanting to go, and I wasn't really sure how I felt about going with him. I just kind of felt uncomfortable about the idea. I just really wasn't ready, which I ended up telling him. I was like, I basically just am not ready to go on a date. However, I was hanging out with my friend at the time. She was like, we're gonna have a group night Saturday, so why don't we just do it there? Like, why don't you guys hang out there? I was like, perfect, this way we'll be around a bunch of people that we know, and hopefully it won't be weird. Well, he actually got kind of frustrated with me. He was like, I don't understand, like, I get that there's like stuff going on and whatnot, but I don't understand why we can't just set a date, even if we have to break it. I would like to just have something, in the books, I guess, or whatever. So I was just kind of confused, like, maybe your average person would probably get it. She's beating around the bush. Maybe we should just leave it at that, see where hanging out with these people on Saturday goes, whatever. But no, that's not how he operates. So anyways, he was clearly a little frustrated and whatnot. We ended up hanging out that Saturday, and again, I had been busy with my family the entire day, so we didn't hang out till, like, they didn't hang out till late. I didn't get there until like maybe an hour or so after like the original start time or whatever you want to call it. But basically, we ended up hanging out at this guy's house, and then we ended up actually going to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we didn't talk, this guy and I, we didn't talk very much while I was there, just because there was, I mean, a big group, and I was hanging out with a couple people from work, and yeah, I mean, we were just kind of having a good time. And I think I texted him later that night. I was like, you know, I'm sorry we didn't get to talk more, because we were sitting like across the table, okay, can I talk? I was sitting here and he was sitting like over here, so we were a good distance away from each other is what I was trying to say. And so clearly like conversation wasn't very like possible from like where we were and whatnot. So I did text him and say, you know, I'm sorry that we didn't get to talk, and I was just kind of being nice about it. I figured he probably wasn't pleased. So he was basically like, yeah, you know, whatever, it's fine. And I'm honestly being very vague with all of the text messages, because like I said, he would send me 5 or 6 text messages. Like, if I sat here and read every text message to you, like, you would probably understand why he's creepy to me, but that would be insanely boring. So anyways, I think it was like the next day he messaged me and asked if we could like talk on the phone, and I think I was with my family, or I don't really know. I was kind of put off by like the wanting to talk on the phone. I was like, why? Like, that's just weird. I don't know. I guess I'm the strange one when it came to that. I just didn't want to talk on the phone. But anyways, I told him I was busy, which I don't remember if I was or wasn't, doesn't really matter. But he was like, okay, and I told him, I was like, I'll text you when I can. And he texted me like later that evening again and was like, are you still with your family or whatnot? And I was like, yes, I'll text you, you know, when I can. And I think it was like the next day he was like, oh, I think we both fell asleep. And I did. I ended up passing out like upstairs in the living room. So then he was like, so do you want to talk now? And I was like, I'm sorry again, but I'm doing stuff like with family or whatnot, which I think that one might have been a lie. But I was just trying to get out of it. Like, you'd think your average human being would just notice, like, okay, maybe she doesn't want to, like, let's just drop it. No, clearly not to him. He said he would stop bugging me, like he just wanted to hear my voice or whatever. He just wanted to talk for like 10 minutes, wanted to hear my voice. And I was like, that's weird. And didn't end up talking on the phone, clearly. He went off on me that night about like just random stuff. Like, he was cursing and going off on me and telling me that somebody or something must have really screwed me up, and that he wasn't surprised, and that I didn't care about his feelings, and that, you know, whatever. And I just let him go. I just let him talk. Like, there was just text after text after text after text, and I just let him talk. I wasn't gonna say anything. Like, I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I'm just gonna let him go, and hopefully that'll be it. And he just did not stop. So after he kind of went off on me, I was like, leave me alone. That was literally the only text message I think I had sent him. And also, this guy was like seriously obsessed with Facebook. It seemed like he was constantly posting. Like, he posted more selfies of himself than I did. So whatever that tells you. But anyways, I had deleted him off Facebook after he like had gone off on me through text, and it wasn't even like a minute or two later that he messaged me and was like, wow, deleted me on Facebook? That just shows how childish you are. I was like, right. So anyways, I think that was after that I was like, leave me alone. And he just kept going and kept talking and whatnot, and I wouldn't reply to anything. I think I replied maybe once more, and I was like, you're still bombarding me. This is still overwhelming. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do it. I'm done for the night. And I thought that was going to be it. And his last text message to me that night was like, I hope you reconsider tomorrow. It's like, I just told you to leave me alone. You just went off on me via text, and you hope I reconsider talking to you tomorrow? I'm gonna have to say pass. So I was just kind of taken aback by that. I was like, seriously? Like, this guy really doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that I don't want to talk to him. He doesn't get that this is not working, like, to just stop altogether. So the next day I woke up and I was kind of expecting probably like something from him, just not everything that I got, basically, because I woke up and there was 2 missed calls and a voicemail and a couple text messages. And he said, okay, he says, I sent you a voicemail. I am done bombarding you. I hope you accept my apology. I just didn't realize I was that annoying. And then he sent me, that was at 9:14 a.m. And then at 11:30 a.m. he says, can you please just talk to me? I'm tired of using others as a go-between. I'm crying now. I just want to be understood by someone. I never meant to hurt you. And then he says goodbye. And then he sent me a message on Facebook, and then he tried to add me on Snapchat, in which I blocked him literally on every single social media that I could. I was a couple days later, I was like, are you still mad at me? I understand if you are, and I shouldn't have blown up on you and put you down that way. Put you down, that was a really dick move. I just don't want to be enemies. I guess I should have thought of that beforehand, huh? In the future, I guess we should avoid friends trying to set us up with people. And I don't know, the entire situation was really weird, and it was just strange. He ended up causing like a lot more problems between my friend and her boyfriend, and it was just like that issue. And I'm sorry this is all so confusing, but he was just seriously crazy. So he actually ended up moving to my local city, and he only lives like maybe 5 or 10 minutes away from me, which makes me extremely uncomfortable. It had been a month since like anything had really happened, and I was actually in Florida on vacation at the time, and I got on Google Plus to kind of check and see what was going on, because I hadn't checked like notifications and whatnot. I wanted to see if there's any comments or any activity going on. So I checked and I had a couple notifications for videos, and there was a comment on one of them from him. He, mind you, when we were just having casual conversation, I never told him about my YouTube channel. I didn't intend to tell him about my YouTube channel because I was just kind of uncomfortable with the idea of him knowing, and obviously for good reason. And yeah, he ended up subscribing to my channel, which I didn't even know about until like late that night. And he had, when I found out, it said that he had subscribed like over 22 hours ago, so he had all day to scroll through every one of my videos or whatever he wanted to watch and watch it, which I get that the internet is a public place and I'm making videos for anyone to see if they wanted to, but it was just the idea that this guy was seriously, like, had gone out of his way to find my YouTube channel. He claims he had found it through a Google Plus account, but the Google Plus account that he was like following, like my Google Plus account that he was following was made back in like high school, and that one's not at all connected to my YouTube channel. Like my Google Plus account that's connected to this one was only made because of the whole transitioning like YouTube into Google Plus or whatnot. So that one's not at all connected to my YouTube account. So for him to find my YouTube channel and subscribe, I mean, he would have had to go looking, and that just made me really uncomfortable because it's obviously been a while. Like, why are you still bothering with this? Like, this is just uncomfortable for me. And he ended up commenting on one of my videos that I posted like months ago. It was like one of those advice videos. It was the how to get over a broken heart, which I'm not sure if it's still there or not. I haven't looked because I actually blocked him here on YouTube, although I'm not sure how much good it's going to do because I'm sure you can probably just log out of Google Plus and like search my name or whatever and find it. So if you're watching this, hey. He commented on it, and I was just in shock when he did. I was like, this is really happening. Like, wow, this guy's crazy. And it was the how to get over a broken heart video, like I said, and he commented something like, nope, I still don't regret a thing, or something like that. And I was like, you can't regret something that never happened, like, because it was kind of clear that he was referring to whatever happened between us, which was nothing, so that didn't even make sense. And just the entire situation was so frustrating, and it was just a really weird time, and he still really makes me uncomfortable. And the idea of him living only 5 or 10 minutes away makes me extremely uncomfortable, and I just want you guys to be safe out there as well. Obviously, this isn't like a severe stalking case. I mean, I don't have any proof because he doesn't know where I live, thank you Jesus, but I don't have any like problems with him sitting outside my windows or anything. But, you know, he still did commit a stalking offense because after I asked him to stop like texting me and leave me alone, he continuously did the following day by like attacking me on social media and calling my phone and giving me voicemails and text messages. So yes, he did commit a stalking offense, and we should have gone to the authorities then. I want you guys to be safe, and make sure, you know, if someone's bothering you, if you've told them to leave you alone, like, you need to notify somebody, like whether it be at school, you need to notify a teacher or a principal, or whether it be, you know, some creepy guy or creepy girl. Make sure your parents know, make sure your friends know, because that way, in case something happens to you, I mean, they kind of have a prime suspect, if you will. So here's to hoping that I never hear anything from that guy ever again, and to hoping that you guys stay safe and careful when it comes to creepy people. But, you know, on the off chance that something goes wrong, and I don't make it, please make sure that the Lifetime movie does me justice, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it somewhat comical, hopefully. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Cigars on ice, cigars on ice. Feeling like an animal with these cameras all in my grill, flashing lights.